Hi, I'm Lam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, once again, we are going to talk about Miss Natasha Denona brand new eyeshadow palette called the Zendo palette. It is stunning, you guys, so let's get right into it. Before we begin, if you like my content and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure to subscribe. I post a lot of videos about beauty, skincare, makeup, fragrances, and click the bell notification button so you will be notified whenever I post a new weekly video. I cannot talk today as usual. In my previous video, which I will link up here and in the description box along with other similar videos and link to my social media, I did a lot of swatching and comparison of this Zendo palette to a few of my other palettes in my collection. Today we are going to create 3 more looks in addition to the first look I did in that video, which is the beautiful red shade right here. Today we're going to do 3 more looks, including this beautiful peachy natural everyday look, and I am going to dive in deeper, talking more about the formulas. And that's what we're going to do today. Now let's dive right in to the 3 beautiful eye looks. Alright everyone, let's have a sip of wine and let's get started. Now we're taking Equilibrium and I'm doing this Picasso inspired look. I actually am inspired by Natasha Denona's Instagram, but as you can see I'm getting flow now on the brush and it's not doing what I wanted it to do. And now we're taking Calm, which is a cream to powder formula. Very beautiful coral, but again, not as pigmented. And I was like, what did I do wrong? So there we go, that's the face. And then I'm getting Breath, also cream to powder. Beautiful shade in the pan, but I was like, it's a little weak. And then, okay, let's try the finger. There we go. That is how we use it. So I'm just basically doing everything again with my finger, put on mascara, and this is the first colorful look ever. Wow. Let's get on to the next one. We're getting Mindful. Creamy matte again, a cream to powder I mean, and we're putting it on the outer corner of the upper lash line and then blended it out. It was so easy to blend and it was such a dream to work with. And then we're getting the shade Sense, which is a shimmer with a copper and a pink kind of undertone. And then we're getting Mindful again for the lower lash line, just blending it in. And we're getting Yama, which is this beautiful duochrome. Oh my god, I'm so fast. This video is so fast. And then seal, and then put on eyeliner, mascara, and this is the second look. This is much more comfortable, much more of my comfort zone than the first one. This is not my best day to film, you guys. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. So first of all, I did this beautiful, well, it's supposed to be more beautiful, but I still think this is pretty cool. But I did this like pop art, David Bowie, Picasso kind of inspired look, and I was inspired by Natasha Denona's Instagram post when she did this look using the Zendo palette, and I thought, oh my god, it looks so effortless. So I thought, oh, maybe this is gonna be good for me to try out colors for the first time and it won't look too crazy on me. Well, the brush did not pick up the color as I wanted it to be. Maybe it's because I'm supposed to wet the brush, or I don't know what is the technique for professional makeup artists. But then I went and watched the video again and I realized, oh, some of the color, she used her finger to pick up the color and it went really well. It's so pigmented and it glides beautifully. So I went and I dipped my finger onto the Equilibrium shade, and yes, it was much better. It was stunning. It was pigmented and it's like butter. Are very easy to work with if you know how to work with them. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm learning, so please forgive me if the look did not turn out as beautiful as I wanted it to be. And the second look here, I wanted to do a little bit of a bronze smoky eye. But when I first used this shade Mindful, which looks very intensely brown, medium at least, brown, warm tone in the pan, and I lay it on using probably, I think I used like this kind of a brush. It was very intense, like I wanted. But then when I started blending it out, it became very soft, like what it is right now. It almost like a transition shade, and it has a very strong copper base to the color, so it turned out more terracotta, as you can see. So the look changed from what I imagined it would be, from a bronzy, smoky, kind of more golden eye look, turn into this pinkish terracotta, kind of like a warm tone pink brown, slightly smoky look, which I like, and actually that pairs beautifully with the Sense color down here. It turned out to be softer than I thought, but I don't mind it. I'm more comfortable with a softer eye look anyway. Yama. I'm using it on my inner corner and a little bit on the first half of my lower lash line, and it has a beautiful shift of green. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up. It has a very beautiful shift in person, but it's very soft, even in person too. I'm learning how to use it because, you know, this is immediately out of my comfort zone. Color, color, color. And I think today is a good start. Yeah, but I still need to think a little bit more about this palette, and so I'm going to stop today. It's not my best day to film, and tomorrow I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do one more final look, and we're gonna run through the whole video, and then I will have the final thoughts ready for you. Let's get this peachy eye look started. First, I'm getting the shade Relief, and we're putting it all over the lid. And then we're taking the shade Balance to deepen up the outer corner of the upper lash line, as well as the outer half of the lower lash line. And finally, we get the shade Tranquil, the shimmery pink, and we're doing a highlighting shade. Put on your best lip product, and we are done. An effortless and beautiful, flattering, natural look. Love. Learning from my yesterday's mistakes, today I am a lot more careful when choosing brushes to work with the Zendo palette, and as you can see, this last look today turned out to be much better. Also, it is also more of my comfort zone, which is more toned down natural look, so naturally it would be better. You know what I mean? But I just like this type of look because it just suits me well and I feel comfortable with it. Relief, which is a beautiful, stunning matte. It is very creamy matte, and it blends out very nicely. Create this beautiful fade of color, very flattering on any skin tone, I bet. And then I use a little bit of Balance on my outer corner of the upper lash line and the lower lash line, just to create more definition. And then I use Tranquil, which is this beautiful shimmer shade, and I create a little bit of a highlight, inner corner highlight. The third look, there's not much to talk about. It went really smoothly. So now let's talk about the formula. So in this palette, the first kind of formula that will jump out at you is the cream to powder formula. And now I can talk about formulas more compared to the first video because now I've used almost all the shades in this palette and I have learned all about the colors. Mindful is an example. I believe Vigor is also a cream to powder, so is Mantra and Breathe. And also Calm, which is this peachy shade. They are very intense when you first lay them onto your eyelid. You are going to be able to blend them out and create a beautiful fade of color, and it blends so nicely. At the same time, if you want to keep it intense, you can keep layering it on and it will get really, really intense. The next formula that jumped at me is the duochrome. For my experience, I'm not going to look at the official website because, well, because this is, you come here to hear my opinion, right? So I will talk about what shade look like what to me. This shade Yama right here is clearly a duochrome. is a shimmery bronze with a shift of green, like lime green. But it's very subtle, as you can see. It's not metallic, it's not intense, so it's a little bit hard to pick up on the camera. The next formula I'm going to talk about is the metallic. Luster right here, which I just swatched, and Flow, kind of like a turquoise, bluish green. These two are the stronger shimmer, more metallic shades in this palette, but I wouldn't say that they are metallic. Let me show you an example of an actually metallic shade. The Norvina eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and let me take the shade Dazzling here. This is a metallic. It's like foiled compared to these two shades, so I wouldn't say that they are metallic formulas in the Zendo palette. They are just the most metallic within the Zendo palette itself. The next formula that this palette has is the shimmers. Sense, Tranquil, Equilibrium are the shimmers. Also, the shade Aura here, I would say, is more of a traditional shimmer as well. They almost can be used as colors in the crease because when you blend them out, they're kind of like a creamy matte in a way. The last formula in this palette is the creamy matte. For example, Balance and Relief. Balance and Relief. So creamy matte, very basic. Different from the cream to powder. So what is the difference? With the creamy matte, they're not as easy to move around as like a cream to powder shade. I'm trying to blend out the shade Balance and it takes me a little bit of effort. So it's going to hold its ground better than a cream to powder. Whereas like Vigor, if I put like that, it's very intense. But when I blend it out, you see how it's become very soft. It doesn't hold its ground as good as like a traditional creamy matte. When you pack on the color and you don't blend it out, it will be very intense. But when you blend out the cream to powder colors, they will be very soft and very movable. Let me know in the comment section if you understand what I mean. Okay, one more time. The cream to powder formula is very intense and they are movable and buildable, whereas the creamy mattes will still be able to blend out, but they will stick better. So when you blend it out, it's going to create a fade too, but the original spot when you put that where you put that color, it will be more intense and it won't go away. It won't blend out completely like a cream to powder shade. It depends on your mood, your preference, and what looks you're going for that you will pick one of these two formulas for your matte. Final thoughts time. This palette has been nothing but a joy to work with, even though there were a few obstacles here and there when it comes to colorful look. Thankfully, this palette is still workable for me and I was still able to figure it out because there are so many cream to powder formulas done right in this palette. Most of the colorful shades or intense shades, they are cream to powder formula, which means, as we talked about previously, they are able to be blended out into a softer color if you want to do that. So it's very great for me, someone who is more comfortable with more natural, more subtle looks rather than very intense, colorful looks. Or a beginner, a makeup enthusiast, and not a makeup artist, and want to venture into colorful look, this palette would be very great to get and to be able to practice your skill and improve slowly, because I am doing that. If you are a makeup artist, I would say this palette is great as well because of how versatile it is. It has natural colors you can create a natural look with. It has more colorful colors that you can either blend out to be more softer, or you can pack it on and be very intense intentionally. All the colors are blendable, buildable, buttery. The least pigmented shade would be Yama. It's such a delicious duochrome shade, but it is not the most pigmented. It's very soft, and I think it is intended to be that way because it's so close to my skin tone. It has beige, it has green, it has a little bit of pink, so maybe that's why it's more subtle. But the rest of the palette, the pigmentation is crazy if you build it up. The depth of this palette is decent. It's not the deepest palette out there, but the addition to this Zeal shade really helps because this is a very intense shade. It's very, very pigmented and it can deepen any look. And because the rest of the colors, majority are colorful shades, so I think it would work better with most skin tones out there and the depth of your skin. If you have super deep skin tone and you have this palette, please let us know in the comment section down below what you think of it. Does it work? Because I will pin it and it will help everyone else clear the air. The only thing I would want is maybe a little bit more of a highlight shade, like a lighter champagne shade. But when I pay $65 in 2021, I don't want to have that because I already have that in my other 1001 palettes laying around the house. I already have a deepening brown, I already have a champagne somewhere. This is fine with me, so I wouldn't change anything in this palette. So that's that. I really like it. I'm glad I have it, and I would highly recommend you to, if you can, go into the store and swatch some of the shades just to have a better idea of how they work and what kind of formula they are, and then you can decide if you want to get it or not. But as a blind buy online, I would say if you are a colorful makeup lover, get it. If you are a beginner to makeup and you want to venture into more colorful looks and you are not very confident with your skills, get it. If you're a makeup artist and want to have another palette in your kit that has so much option in such a small palette, relatively small palette compared to a lot of palettes out there. If you are a Natasha Denona collector and you want to have all of her palettes and you're wondering if this palette is worth picking up, get it also. So yeah, that's it for this video. I will update you for sure, of course, as time goes on, if my opinion change of this palette, but right now it is a bomb palette. I really like it. That's it for this video. I hope it's not 1,000 years long, but it probably is. I will let you go. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think in the comment below. The comment section below. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Until next time, please don't flop.